Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called Endgame by author Jeffrey Archer. It was published as a hardback edition here in the United Kingdom by HarperCollins on the 23rd of September 2025. And it's the 8th adventure for William Warwick, the 8th and final adventure, the author told us in the book that I reviewed last year, An Eye for an Eye. That was the 7th book, and the next one will be the last. So this is the final adventure for William Warwick and his sidekick Ross Hogan. So where are we? Before I start the review, I know there are some like me that like to have a proper book in their hands, and the first UK print of a hardback print of this book has a really nice embossed cover, and I'll see if I can quickly show you. So really nice cover. Those, as I said, those that like a nice hardback book in their hands will appreciate that, and I thought it was very well done. Right, okay, Less of the Waffle Cliff. What's it all about? Well, book kicks off in July 2005 in Singapore. Commander William Warwick and his boss, Assistant Commissioner Jack Hawksby, the Hawk, are in Singapore. They're attending the draw for the 2012 Olympics. UK is one of the countries that's in the final selection. We're up against cities like Paris, New York, Moscow, so they know there's going to be some intense competition. And the opening pages describe the way the draw took place, the way that there was like an ebb and flow as to who would get the games, and eventually London get the games in 2012. So that's good news and bad news. So that's great news for the UK and the fact that the Olympics will be held in 2012. Slightly bad news for Commander William Warwick, because he's going to be in charge of security for the London Olympic Games in 2012, and he's basically got 7 years to prepare for that. 7 years sounds a lot, but with such a momentous sporting occasion, with so many moving parts, he knows that him and his team are going to be stretched. So we then move forward to 2012, and we see the preparations beginning for the London Games. We know that Warwick has got a good team. He gets his sidekick Ross Hogan back. Ross Hogan's been a bit of a bad lad, been demoted to sergeant, and he's currently working traffic, but he gets him back on the team because he knows his unique skills will come in handy. So basically, this is basically one man against this games will either be, a raging success or a disaster, and Warwick feels the weight of everybody on his shoulders, because it's up to him to make sure that it's a triumph rather than a disaster. So, as usual, we have the usual dastardly villains in the Warwick series. We have Miles Faulkner, ace criminal, and his sidekick Booth Watson is a QC. Remember, these are in the days 2012, so they were QCs rather than KCs. And Faulkner is already up to his tricks. He's looking to buy cheap property, because they know that a lot of the property that's going to be used for 2012. So, in the years prior to 2012, he's doing dodgy deals to buy property. He's got a dodgy fake ticket scam going. You name it, he's at it. And his main focus in life is getting his own back on William Warwick, because he's been inside before. And, the two men, basically, Warwick would be happy as anything if he could get Faulkner in jail. Faulkner would do anything he can to discredit William Warwick. So we have that whole scenario going on all through the book. We also have Warwick facing in one case, at least one deadly assassin, a state-sponsored deadly assassin, because not only are there criminals using the games as an outlet for their nefarious activities, we also have state-sponsored bad actors who want to disrupt the games for political reasons. So that, in effect, is the nub of the story. It's Warwick and his team up against a whole bunch of people who are trying to fire all sorts of routes, trying to disrupt the games. It's fair to say that this is very well researched. It's a typical Archer books, and you enjoy seeing some of the backstories that happened during London 2012. And I'll get to what happened in 2012 before I finish the review. We do, as usual, have a little side story, a little subplot with Warwick's wife Beth, who's the director of the Fitzmolian Museum. And there are some shenanigans going on there related to paintings that may or may not be bequeathed to them. And once again, the arch villain Miles Faulkner is involved, and of course his ex-wife Christina is the boss, the director of the Fitzmolian. The chair of the Fitzmolian. Beth Warwick is the director. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on. We also have the fact that in previous books we'd seen William Warwick's children, Artemisia and Peter, as children, but now they're grown up. Artemisia is a budding journalist, and she's trying to get an inside scoop on the games. Now, her dad clearly can't do that, but he says, speak to Ross. Ross is the sort of guy who will probably give you a few tips. So she speaks to Ross Hogan because she's trying to get an exclusive so that she can go to her editor and go from being a trainee cub reporter to a junior reporter. Peter, William Warwick's son, is following the footsteps of his grandfather and has become a lawyer. So very much a junior lawyer at the moment. But we hear their subplots as well. So it's a really, really well put together book. It's very well researched, as Archer's books always are. And, people can be a bit sniffy about Geoffrey Archer, not highbrow enough. But Geoffrey Archer can tell a good tale. This is a good tale. There's a very, very thrilling climax. We build up to the closing ceremony, people trying to disrupt it, all manner of stuff going on, and lots of action, lots of drama. Really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. I think I haven't read all 8 of the William Warwick novels. I read the last one, which I reviewed on the channel, Eye for an Eye. But this is this definitely goes out with a bang. This is a really good, enjoyable book. So, usual Geoffrey Archer, very well researched. Good, believable characters, fast paced, and go out and get it. It's well worth a read. Archer says at the front of the book, he mentions some of the people that in his acknowledgements, the people that helped him with the fact behind London 2012 games, and there's a little quiz at the back, effectively, of the book, and I'll see if I can find that without knocking the book over. It says, you can tell this is right. It says, 25 incidents are included in the endgame that might have taken place during the 2012 London Olympics. 13 did. 9 did not. How many can you get correct? So a nice little quiz at the back there. And I looked at it and I think, well, I know for a fact that, 5 or 6 of those occurred. But what about some of the others? So it's a nice little quiz to get you thinking. So great background of the London 2012 Olympics. Good, engaging story. As I said, this is the eighth of 8 for the William Warwick books, but regular readers will enjoy it. And if you enjoy a good thriller, an action-packed, full of twists and turns, then you'll enjoy this book. So that's it for this week's brief book review. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.